Sukshma Shariram Kim
Sukshma Shariram Kim
Apanchikrita Panchamahabhuteih Kritam
Apanchikrita Panchamahabhuteih Kritam
Satkarmajanyam
Satkarmajanyam
Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam
Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam
Panchajnanendriyani
Panchajnanendriyani
Panchakarmendriyani
Panchakarmendriyani
Panchapranadayaha
Panchapranadayaha
Manaschaikam Buddhishchaika
Manaschaikam Buddhishchaika
Evam Saptadasha Kalabhihi
Evam Saptadasha Kalabhihi
Saha Yattishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram
Saha Yastishtati Tat Sukshma Shariram.
Same similar words, but it's the is put in front of everything here, if you see. So this is called the subtle body, okay? The gross, in our vision of our scriptures, the gross body has no existence without this subtle body, which means the subtle body brings the gross body to life. But even the subtle body is jadam, it is inert. It is lit up, like we saw yesterday. It is lit up. It is heated, like the fire heats the vessel. It is heated up by consciousness alone. So it becomes, a medium of reflection of consciousness, a medium to manifest consciousness. The subtle body in everything we see, we call Chaitanya or life, right? Life as we see it. What is the difference between Chaitanya, that which is alive, and what is inert? The difference is according to our Shastra, it is this subtle body. So if a gross object like a chair had a subtle body, what would happen if you sat on it? It would tell you, get off me. Why are you sitting on me? Get off. That is what subtle body does. It brings something to life. And we see that even in cartoons and things, gross objects coming to life. So everything has, so it's levels of manifestation. And the Shastra talks about it as uninhibited manifestation of consciousness. Where is the most uninhibited manifestation of consciousness? It is only through the Sukshma Shariram of a human being. The human being, that is why human birth becomes very durlabhataram to get, because the uninhibited manifestation of consciousness is only through a human Sukshma Shariram. So it is called the subtle body because it is invisible. It is imperceptible to the senses. You cannot see your subtle body. You cannot see somebody else's subtle body as well. You can, though, see part of the subtle body, which is, although it is Indriya Agochara, and Indriya Agochara means not perceptible to your senses, your physical 5 senses, you cannot perceive it. You can know your Sukshma Shariram in one way. How is that? You are aware of your thoughts. It's called Sakshi Pratyaksham. You are very much aware of your subtle body. You know your thoughts. Your thoughts are nothing but part of the subtle body. There are other components. If you can imagine the Shastra concept of mind, the Shastra model of the mind has 17 components. 17. So English word mind does not do justice to the Sanskrit understanding of mind. It is called Antav Karana. It is the inner instrument. Antaha means inner. Karana means instrument. Everybody has this inner instrument, and we'll see what the components are. Very interesting. So you can see your Sukshma Shariram. You can, because you're very aware. You can be aware of your thoughts. You can be aware of your mind. You can be aware of your thinking. But generally, we cannot read somebody else's Sukshma Shariram unless you're a clairvoyant. But there are people with siddhis. When they say they can mind, what do we say? Mind reader, right? In English. What are they doing? They're reading somebody's Sukshma Shariram. That is what they do. They can read the thoughts, the sukshma of another person, but that is the very rare beings that can do that. Not everybody. The majority of men or women, men and women, sorry, why I said men, I don't know, women as well. Majority of males and females cannot read other people's minds, right? If we could read everybody's minds, there would be hell breaking loose in this world, right? So it's good that we cannot read everybody's mind, because generally we say we are one thing in public and something else inside. Everybody is the same. So it's better Bhagavan has created that we can see the stula of the person, but we don't know the sukshma of the person. It is better like that. So sukshma is something which is non-perceptible. But because it's non-perceptible, it does not mean it does not exist. Non-perception does not mean non-existence. We have even this science of psychology that talks about the order of the mind, order of thoughts. So even if the scientists haven't acknowledged that there is such a thing as mind, how can they study the order of the mind? So there is an order, okay? There is Sukshma Shariram is inferred. There is a certain background. If there's a certain background, there will be a certain way of thinking. There'll be a certain behavior. So this Sukshma Shariram is inferred by people. There are 17 components, as I said, 17 components in this model of the Sukshma, right? It has a much longer life than the physical body. As I said, the physical body is only one birth, but what happens on death is very interesting. That the way that this is analyzed, and I've said this before, but some people are new here. What we call death is only the death of the physical body. Only the physical body drops off. And when does the physical body drop off? The physical body drops off when the sukshma, the subtle body, is detached. It detaches itself from the physical body. This is what we call death. It's not your Atma leaves. Your Atma cannot go anywhere. If all Atma, consciousness is all pervasive, how can there be travel for Atma? How could it go? Because of lack of words in English, we say soul has left. The soul has left the body. It is not the soul. The soul never leaves anywhere. The soul is all pervasive. It is this subtle body which other religions have not analyzed, or they have not discovered that there is this subtle body that reflects the soul, reflects Atma. That is what the reflecting medium leaves the physical body. So if the reflecting medium is no longer there, how can the physical body come alive? So it is as though it goes back to the earth to earth, ashes to ashes, because it is nothing but Pancha Maha Bhutehi Kritam. Remember, it is only 5 elements. You go back. So where does the physical body belong? To the physical Jagat. There is no difference between the physical body and the physical Jagat. 5 elements, 5 elements. It is absolutely a bag of stink and nothing when the Sukshma Shariram leaves. What is it? Just a stinky bag of nothing. Nobody will want to keep a corpse in their house, right? Everybody, as soon as the body starts rotting, bye-bye, that is it. It's burnt or it's buried. So this is, the physical body is nothing without the reflecting medium. It reflects, and it has a much longer life than the physical body. How do we say that? Because it survives the death of the physical body. It survives even to know that you survive the death of the physical body. It is, our rishis have said, this is a fact. You continue, you are continuing after. You are not able to interact. See, if you read a near-death experience, is very interesting, because the people are there. They can see the physical body lying on the hospital table or something, after an operation or some kind of, death experience. But they're not able to talk to the people there in the room. They're not able to interact because the medium of interaction is gone. The medium through which we interact is the physical body, right? Because it has the senses, it has the mouth, it has communication, it has touch. Through the senses, I interact with the world. When that interactive medium is gone, what happens? I cannot. So if you read stories, very interesting to read near-death experiences. All of them describe coming out of the physical body, still having the mind, still having the thinking capacity, watching, witnessing their physical body, yet not being a part of the whole thing. So it's a different level of existence. It's a different level. They are still, in the room, but there's no form there. They're formless, but the eye is still there because the mind still exists, right? So this is, again, non-verifiable unless you try it, but please don't try this at home. There's a disclaimer. We don't need to. These are just things that we could read. You could read a lot of testimonies like that. So what happens is that your Sthula Shariram is left here on this earth, then Sukshma, it leaves and it travels, it goes into another body. This is what our concept of reincarnation is. It, according to your karmas, the next set of karmas waiting to be manifested, what happens? The combination you don't know. That is why we keep saying, keep doing dharmic deeds, keep doing, because we don't know what combination is going to take place next life. Then some combination happens due to karma paladata, due to Ishvara's order, and you're born in a certain womb, you're born in a certain location, you're born with certain background, and that is all sat karma janyam, as we saw. Even this Sukshma Shariram, what is the cause for the Sukshma? He says here, Sat Karma Janyam. Just as your physical body is born of karma, your Sukshma Sharira is also born of the karma that you do. What does that show? What does that show? That you cannot have guilt. How can you have guilt of your mind? Your mind is a product of your karma. It is karma palam. It is given. When it's karma palam, it's given. So however your mind is, it's prasadam, right? However the mind is, it's prasadam. You cannot feel guilt for having a mind as you do, because you have no control over it now in this life. It is a given thing. You can only manage it. That's all we say. But you have to accept. That's why this knowledge of this, you may ask, what is this knowledge giving me? It should give you an acceptance of yourself, at least on the relative level. Because only when you accept yourself on the relative level can you accept yourself on the absolute level. What Atmajnanam is acceptance of yourself on the absolute level. If I cannot accept my mind, body, senses the way they are now, how will I ever discover full acceptance, total acceptance? And this is the way that Shastra helps us accept. Your body is given. Your mind, your Sukshma Shariram is given. It is something decided by certain laws. I'm not in charge of the laws. Those laws are Ishvara for us, karma paladata. What combination manifests in what life, I don't know. Where I'll be born, I don't know. To which set of parents I'll be born, I don't know. But this is my karma. That is what it says. So when does Sukshma die? Sukshma is resolved in two times in our life. Sukshma is resolved. One is in sleep. There is no Sukshma Shariram in sleep, meaning the main function of the mind, the intellect, is gone in sleep. In deep sleep, where is the world for you? You are in potential form in sleep. It's called Bija Avastha. You resolve into potential form. Senses are not there. Mind is not there to interact with with the world. Physical body is lying somewhere. You're totally unaware of the physical body in sleep, right? I don't think there's any awareness of, after you go to sleep, you don't know. You might wake up in the next room, or you might wake up on the floor or outside on the street. You never know what happens, right? So there's no awareness of that, because mind is resolved. And we call dream state, mind is half awake. It is not fully resolved. Sleep, the Shastra says mind is fully resolved, but in dream, mind is half awake. What does that mean? That means that you create a world inside yourself. The world that you interact within. So you're first you go into sleep, then the dream state happens after sleep. And where is your world for you? Your world is in your own mind. Sleep state, Shastra says, is there to show that you are the efficient cause, intelligent cause, and also the material cause for the creation of your world. It is a reflection of Ishvara's Jagat. He is the material cause and he is the intelligent cause for this world. In the same way, in your small little way, you are the material cause and you are the intelligent cause for your dream world. Where is the material for your dream world? It is all your vasanas. Everything you've picked up in the waking state is there in potential seed form to manifest into dream state. That's why you can see all sorts of things that you wish to happen in the waking state. You wish certain things to happen in the waking state, it doesn't happen. But you can exhaust that prarabdha in dream state, actually. So it's quite good. If you feel like being, if you want to be a billionaire here, keep concentrating on being a billionaire. You can exhaust that prarabdha in the dream state in a 20-minute nap. You can experience being a billionaire and then come back to the waking state and wake up to 1,000 pounds in the bank account. So it's, sleep also, dream also helps you exhaust your prarabdha, okay? But the only thing is we don't control our dreams. So we cannot say that, dreams. Sometimes unconscious comes up in dreams, certain things that fears come up in dreams. But the main thing is that I am the material for the dream and I'm the intelligence for the dream. It comes from me. It doesn't come from somewhere outside, right? So this is part of Sukshma Shariram. First layer, the mini pralaya we have every night is in sleep. And the grand pralaya, when it says, Brahmaji, the creator, he breathes in a deep breath and he takes in all of creation. And all the jivas go into unmanifest, undifferentiated form. That is what we call pralaya, or the end of the world. They say, the end of the world in our Shastra is when Brahmaji takes a deep breath, right? When he breathes out, we come out. When he breathes in, we all go into unmanifest form. We all go into, this is the only time where this Sukshma Shariram is in unmanifest. Apart from sleep, it goes into undifferentiated, unmanifest form at the end of a cycle of creation. It is called the kalpa, end of a kalpa, end of a cycle of creation. But you're still there to come out. You're still there when he creates the next cycle of creation. Your karmas are still there clamoring to come out. Okay, so this is what it says. So this is the Sukshma Shariram. What is it created from? This verse says, again, it is again 5 great elements, Pancha Mahabhuta. But what's the difference between the subtle body and the physical body? These are the subtle 5 elements. Before grossification happens, the 5 elements are in subtle form. And whatever the 5 elements, we saw that Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi, the space, air, fire, water, and earth. Okay, 5 great elements in subtle form. They have not gone through grossification. That's why in this verse he says, apanchikrita, which means they have not yet become grossified. They are still in subtle form, but they are the cause for your subtle body. Subtle elements are there to cause your subtle body. Gross elements cause your gross body. And how is this subtle body born? As I said, it is Sat Karma Janyam, the same cause for the subtle, as same cause for the gross. Your karma alone. And every Sukshma Shariram will be in accordance with the body that it's going to take. What does that mean? It is going to be, sometimes it is not like just limited to your physical body. You feel I end this much alone. Where the sense of touch ends, that's where I end. Whereas in this the Sukshma Shariram, you can extend a bit further out of your physical body. That's what people say, when they say they can read auras and things like that. That is exactly what people are saying, the Sukshma Shariram of a human being. Some auras are a bit more widespread, some are less, right? But the Sukshma is not exactly the same size. You can't say exactly the same size. It is a little bit, pervading beyond the stula, right? But definitely, you are not going to get an elephant Sukshma Shariram, because then you'll start, every Sukshma Shariram will be in accordance with the body that's being taken, right? If you have an elephant Sukshma Shariram, you'll start trumpeting and behaving like elephant. Or if an elephant gets your Sukshma Shariram, then it'll start talking like you. So each Sukshma Shariram, all the Sukshma Shariram, they will have There, according to the Sukshma Shariram, it will have its, the Stula and the Sukshma have to match basically, right? So we see this even in TV shows. I don't know whether you remember, but when I was younger, there was this TV show called Mr. Ed with the talking horse. So that is Mr. Ed. It's an American TV show where the horse used to yap yap, and this is exactly that's a Sukshma Shariram of a human being going into a stula of an animal. It can happen. We don't know. Bhagwan has not done that yet, as far as my knowledge. But anything can happen. That is why we even have people say all of this is acknowledged with this model. All of everything that we take to be mysterious, and all the ghosts. When we talk about ghosts, what are ghosts? Ghosts are only Sukshma Sharirams which don't have stula. Ghosts are Sukshma Shariram, or they call them ghosts. But when, especially they say, in suicide or people who have killed themselves, it takes a long time to take another physical body. So the Sukshma, there could be loads of Sukshmas around us, we don't know. So the Sukshma Shariram of that person could be trying and communicate, with the person on this realm. There was a movie called Ghost, that is quite, in some ways, there's a lot of truth to that, because there is a way, the Sukshma, it can interact. Some Sukshmas have that interaction. So we don't rule out anything, okay? We don't rule out. So don't get scared with ghosts and everything, but I'm just saying how our Shastra acknowledges for all of this as well. So again, Sukshma is also Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam. What was Stula? It was Bhoga Ayatanam. If you remember, Ayatanam is a place, abode for experiencing the Sukha and Dukkha, the joys and sorrows of life. It is the abode, but this is the means. Sadhanam is the means. Your Sukshma Shariram, the subtle body, is the means of experiencing the ups and downs of life. What does that mean? That means everything is experienced only in the mind, right? Your body is not experiencing joy and sorrow. Where is joy and sorrow experienced? If the body goes through pain, but where is the pain, the suffering experienced? It is in your Sukshma. So whatever, the body is the place of enjoyment. It's like you go to Disneyland. So Disneyland is a location, but unless you go on the ride, you don't have experience, right? You have to use the ride. So the Sukshma Shariram is all the rides that you have to go through in life, the experiences that you have to go through is the Sukshma Shariram. The actual location where the experiences happen is the Stula Shariram, the physical body. So it is the place where the sadhana, the means for experiencing pleasure and pain. Pleasure and pain are all in the mind. Joy and sorrow, all in the mind. All the pairs of opposites that we go through in life, all in the mind. The physical body is by itself inert. So the physical body is inert, but when we have pain or something and we have to go through an operation for the physical body, what do we put to sleep? It's not the physical body. It is the anesthesia is for what? It puts you to sleep, right? Because I don't experience pain. The physical body is there being operated on, but anesthetic is what? For the mind. It puts the mind to sleep, so I don't experience the pain that the body is being cut up. So this very interesting. We have to understand drugs, drinks, anything that makes me escape from, dullens the pain. What does it do? It dullens my thinking capacity. It dullens my sadhana, the bhoga sadhana, which means the means of experience is dullened. I cannot experience to the fullest if it's dull. Alcohol dullens the means, so I don't have any pain at that time. I don't have inhibitions. So this is, this is sadhanam, bhoga sadhanam. That's the difference. And just to finish quickly, what are the other components? We're going to go through it in the next class, but we've only gone through a few components. There are more components. What is it? 5 sense organs are included. Jnanendriyani are included in the Sukshma Shariram. And in the Stula Shariram, he hadn't mentioned in the physical body, the sense organs are there in the physical body, but they are the location. We have to be very careful. It's called golaka. In Sanskrit, there is a word. Golaka is the location for the sense power. The ears are location for the sense power of hearing. The nose is the location for the sense power of smell. The skin is the location for the sense power of touch. The tongue is the location for the sense power of taste. And the eyes are the location for the sense power of sight. So here in the Sukshma, we're not talking about the location, because the locations are seen on the physical body. Physical body have the locations. What does the 5 sense organs? It's talking about the power. The power of sight is in my Sukshma Shariram. The power of hearing is in my Sukshma Shariram. Power of taste, power of touch, power of smell, all in my subtle body. And also, these are the instruments to receive knowledge. Because of these powers, through the medium of reception, through the golakas placed in different parts of my body, I'm able to receive knowledge from the world. So these jnane, they're called jnanendriyani, which means the organs, sense powers of knowledge, because they bring me knowledge from the external world. Jnanendriyani, very beautiful words. The ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and the skin are only medium, but the power resides in your subtle body. And the 5 organs of action are also included in the subtle body. The organs of action we're going to go through what they are, but they are external. You see 2 hands, 2 legs, the generative procreation, the procreation function, and also the evacuation function. These are the 5 organs of action that the physical body does. But here, what is residing in the Sukshma Shariram? What is residing in the subtle body? It is not the organs themselves, it is the power. The power to procreate is there in the Sukshma. So the power to work, the karmendriyani, the hands, the power to use my hands is where? The hands are located on the physical body, but the power behind is the Sukshma Shariram. So karmendriyani are the instruments to respond to the data received. The jnanendriyani bring in the data from the world. Karmendriyani responds to the data. How beautifully it's created, right? This body. My response is through my organs of action, and the input is through the organs of knowledge. And so there's 10 components already, 10 components to this Sukshma Shariram. And then we have another 5, which are the physiological functions, or the 5 pranas. The 5 pranas, physiological functions, making it 15. We saw 5 pranas before, but he'll go through in more detail. So 15 components. Then he adds the mind and the intellect. 17 altogether. The mind is a component, the intellect is another component. So 17 components. The Sukshma Sharira is now complete. The Ahankara and the Chitta we can add also, make 19. In some models they make 19, but this Ahankara, ego, sense of I, is already there in the Buddhi. You can include in the intellect. And whereas the memory can also be included in the intellect. Okay, intellect and mind go to form memory, because only data from your mind and intellect goes stored into your memory chip in your. So this is the Sukshma Sharira in a nutshell.